Part 3. The Strongest Assassin in the Server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 21. Not surprisingly, the properties of the ice dagger immediately aroused everyone's admiration. You know, there are very few blue equipment at this stage, and their prices are astronomical when exposed to the market. And the ice dagger comes with ice attribute attacks, which is even more incredible. Tisk tisk, boss, how did you get such an awesome weapon in just such a short time? Fire Tong asked with a shy face. Secret. Ye Chen smiled mysteriously, and of course he would not tell the story about the bronze treasure chests so kindly. Then, he started to kill monsters, one by one, like chopping melons and vegetables, making everyone's eyes almost fall to the ground in shock. He just crushed them all the way, and soon arrived at the boss room. He has been brushing this copy for several days. Although he cannot check the monster's attributes because of insufficient recognition, he can roughly deduce it. The HP of a rock giant in a normal copy is about 1200 points. After spending some time clearing out the mobs around the boss, Yuchen concentrated on dealing with the rock giant. Sap. -178. The rock giant fell into a dazed state. Yuchen took the time to use two swords, -120, -131. Suddenly, the blood bar on the head of the rock giant dropped rapidly like running water. Run. Stab, backstab. When it woke up from the dizzy state, Ye Chen quickly walked forward with a blurred after image a few yards away, turned around and came to the back of it, and the ice dagger was completely engulfed in the latter's vest. Back attack damage doubled, -420. An extremely exaggerated damage value appeared, and the rock giant's health bar suddenly dropped to its remaining health. Yuchen quickly made another stab and harvested it. This whole set of actions was extremely coherent and quite pleasing to the eye. Huo Tong and the others were stunned when they saw it, and it took them a long time to recover. Boss, is he dead now? Damn it! It turns out that thieves can be so awesome. If I had known I would be a thief. Pull him down. Even if you play as a thief, you are still no match for 1/10,000th of the night god. Everyone was amazed, and some even had the idea of deleting their accounts and playing thief again, but they gave it up in a flash. After all, there are so many thief players, but only a few are good at it. The settings of Dream World for each profession are still very balanced. As long as you play hard and are willing to spend money, any profession can be awesome. After finishing the normal level, Yuchen exited the dungeon and entered the difficult level again. System, you discovered the Flame Swamp. System, you have entered the difficult level Copy Flame Swamp. Following the system prompt, Yuchen led the team into the dungeon. Under their feet was a sea of fire, burning, and had already submerged everyone's shoes. People with less than 10 fire resistance points will start to get flame damage from the top of their heads. Those who have less than 10 fire resistance points take fire resistance potion American Samoa quickly as possible. If it is still not enough, pay attention to taking medicine to restore blood at any time. Seeing that everyone was in a hurry, Ye Chen reminded him that he was not worried that someone would die. In fact, it didn't matter even if they died. As long as he finally passes the copy, no one will deduct experience. Of course, those who die will not be able to pick up the equipment. Then, he rushed up and stabbed a slime, -132, instant kill. There are more monsters in the difficulty level dungeon, and their attributes will be enhanced accordingly. However, facing Ye Chen's super high attack power, he will still end up being defeated. Ye Chen himself gave a sigh of relief. Since he could kill instantly, it would be easy to handle. It would probably be a little more troublesome for the boss. I saw him raising and lowering the knife with great ease. Facing the slime's fireball attack, he would use sprint to avoid it. After the skill cooled down, he would resist it. Anyway, there were two priests behind him to add power to him. blood. If he really couldn't get enough milk, he still had the instant recovery potion, so there was no danger at all along the way. It is worth mentioning that there were a lot more elite monsters in the difficult dungeon. Yuchen crushed him to the boss room, killed 3 elites in total, and revealed a piece of green equipment and a fire resistance puzzle piece. Because they were obtained randomly, he didn't catch any. The amazing amount of milk was assigned to a piece of the puzzle, and he was overjoyed. Now he finally realized what a wise choice he made to join this team. The leader is awesome. He can clear the difficult level faster than other groups can clear the normal level, and because it is a difficult level, there are many elite monsters, so the explosion rate is high. He was very happy now. He picked up a puzzle as soon as he joined the group and smiled from ear to ear. But Yuchen was depressed and stopped at the door of the boss room. "Captain, what's wrong with you?" everyone asked, looking at Yuchen one after another. "I'm telling you," Yuchen pointed at everyone and said, "difficult level bosses have a chance to produce blue equipment. No matter how many pieces are produced, they are all mine. If you find them, you must hand them in, otherwise I won't bring them." For it. Everyone's lips twitched. They thought Yuchen was a good old man, but unexpectedly, his true nature was revealed at the critical moment. However, they did not refuse, but agreed happily. After all, Yuchen led them to clear difficult level dungeons. With more experience, the explosion rate of green equipment is higher, which is already good. Yuchen nodded with satisfaction and took the lead to rush into the boss room. The boss was of course still a rock giant, but with a thicker blood, about 2000 HP, and higher attack and defense. However, the frequency of its jumping into the sky has increased. Everyone can't grasp the moment of its landing, and many people were shocked to death. But this is not a problem for Yuchen at all. He can avoid it very easily. Then, it is a targeted attack, and with the help of sprinting, he goes around the rock giant like lightning. After a few rounds, it is also very easy to kill the boss. Seeing that Yuchen can lead the difficult level so easily, everyone cheered, and the fire gun even said, "Experts, let's go. Let's go." Yuchen rolled his eyes at him, causing everyone to laugh. You know, Yuchen relied on his high attack power to kill the monsters in seconds, so he fought so easily. If his attack power was a little less, the danger would double. After all, there are more monsters at the difficult level. As for the experts, don't even think about it for the time being. Before finding a strong shield warrior, Yuchen will not consider brushing the expert level dungeon. After the joke, Yuchen took everyone to cycle the difficult dungeon until late at night. After a few hours, a lot of green equipment and puzzles were produced, and everyone was very happy. As for the blue equipment, only one item was dropped. Flame Longsword, blue quality. Level 4. Attack power, 4466. Strength add 9. Special effect, fire attack. Everyone was amazed. This equipment was undoubtedly very powerful, and it was a long sword, the weapon of the most popular profession magic swordsman, so its value would be even higher. However, its current position was very awkward, because it added fire attack. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 22. Normally, the price of weapons with additional attribute attacks is much higher than that of weapons of the same grade without additional attributes. It's just that this flame sword hits the mark. At this stage, the fire attribute is the most embarrassing attribute. If it is replaced with any other attribute, the price of this sword will double several times. If it is ice attribute, it is not impossible for the price to double 10 times. Demand determines the market, this is an eternal law. Of course, even so, this flame sword can be sold with eyes closed, and it is more than enough to sell for 20,000 or 30,000 copper coins. What a pity, everyone shook their heads and sighed. Seeing that it was getting late, they greeted each other and gradually went offline. "Boss, you are having a lot of fun today. It's already early morning. Why don't you go offline to rest?" Huotong was the last one. He said to Yuchen before going offline. "I have a game cabin," Yuchen said lightly. Rich man, Huotong looked envious. As a professional player, he didn't have a game cabin, but he didn't expect Yuchen to spend money to buy one. Of course, he didn't know whether Yuchen's game cabin was given by someone else or by the beautiful girl. "Okay, boss, take your time and see you tomorrow." "See you tomorrow." With that, Huotong went offline, leaving Yuchen alone. To be honest, it was easy for him to play the normal level Flame Swamp alone, but it was not possible to play the difficult level. The damage was enough, but the HP was not enough. Without nurse, he might be killed in the monster pile. It just so happened that he was bored in this copy, so it would be good to go to the wild to get some fresh air. Also, there was a treasure in the wild that he had coveted for a long time. In the past, it was because his level was not enough. Now it was time to get it. While thinking, Yuchen walked out of the desert valley and came to a jungle. "System, you found a dense jungle, recognition add 1. The dense jungle is a monster area above level 5. There are many players here, at least more than the desert valley. As for the reason, it was because these level 5 players had little experience in playing the normal and even difficult levels of Flame Swamp, and they couldn't get through the higher difficulty levels. At this time, playing wild monsters is a good choice. The main monsters in the dense jungle are monster lizards, which are level 5 monsters. They are very large, and with a strong and powerful tail, they are probably 2 meters long. This is a pure physical series monster with high attack power and fast speed, but extremely low magic defense. It would be a paradise for a fire mage to live here. At this time, a green-skinned giant lizard found Yuchen and rushed over flexibly. Unfortunately, Yuchen was not looking for it, and he was not interested in fighting, so he sneaked into stealth mode and left silently. After walking thousands of yards, Yuchen turned a corner and walked forward for a while. He could vaguely hear the sound of flowing water. Continuing forward, he found a big river, and there was also a lush jungle on the other side of the river. On both sides of the river, a bow-shaped wooden bridge was built, but unfortunately there was a big hole of more than 3 meters in the middle of the wooden bridge. Yuchen looked up from below, and through the hole he could see the beautiful clouds in the sky. Pursuing the essence of the game, the designer would not put a wooden bridge here for no reason. Since it is placed here, it is a bridge connecting the other side. If there is a hole, just fix it. In fact, there is a hidden task here. There is a skilled carpenter in the human novice village, who can fix this hole. In addition to the wooden bridge, players can also swim to the other side alone if they learn the swimming skill. Of course, if you don't have the swimming skill, you will drown if you force yourself into the water. After all, this is a game. Just because you can swim in real life doesn't mean you can swim in the game. Obviously, Yuchen doesn't have the swimming skill, so he can only find a way to receive this hidden task and ask the carpenter for help. The player who completed this hidden task in the previous life also left a guide. I have read it, but I can't remember it clearly now. I only remember that as long as I can prove to the old carpenter that the wooden bridge is broken, I can get the task. But how can I prove it? Yuchen touched the back of his head and felt a pain in his balls. If it is to prove it to a player, it is very simple. Just use the built-in camera function of the game and take a picture of the big hole to show him, but this does not work for NPCs. Walking on the wooden bridge, Yuchen thought about it, but he couldn't think of a good way. Finally, his face turned fierce and he decided to play a big one. I'll work harder and make the hole bigger. I'll take the board to him and surrender. Yuchen broke the jar and went to the side of the hole. He cut off a large piece of wood, smiled, and quickly returned to the novice village. In the novice village, Yechen immediately found the carpenter. It was an old man with a white beard, who was lying on a chair with his legs crossed and taking a nap. "Master, there is a wooden bridge in the dense jungle. Now there is a hole. No one can cross the river. Can you go and repair it?" Yechen walked over and said with a shameless face. "Bullshit. That wooden bridge was made by me and my old friend who died. The material is very solid. It has been exposed to wind and rain for more than 10 years, and there is nothing wrong with it. Who would believe you now that it has a big hole?" The old man opened one eye and glanced at Yechen, snorting. "No, in fact, the hole is mine," Yechen said, and stretched out his hand, and the wooden board flashed out. He was about to continue to explain the situation, but the old man interrupted him impatiently. "Okay, go to the wine shop next door to buy me a bottle of daughter wine, and I will believe you." The old man closed his eyes and shook his head and said, Yechen opened his mouth with a wonderful expression, and his hand shook, and the wooden board fell to the ground with a clang. This sound attracted the attention of the old man. He sat up and looked, and immediately shouted angrily, "Okay, it turns out that you, a stinky boy, broke the wooden bridge." "No, actually What's not? It's you who broke it?" Okay, I broke it. I'll go buy you some wine, and you can go with me to fix it later," the old man insisted, and Yechen was annoyed. No matter whether he was right or wrong, he admitted it first. As long as the old man went to repair the bridge, everything didn't matter. "You're dreaming. Now it's you who broke the wooden bridge. Originally, I didn't have to run that trip, but now I have to run a trip because of you. How can a bottle of wine be enough? Okay. How much do you want?" Yechen knew that he was blackmailed, but it was indeed because he used the wrong method, and he couldn't blame anyone. Anyway, it was just a few bottles of wine, he could afford it. "One jar, the biggest one." The old man narrowed his eyes and revealed a trace of greed, licking his lips, and said. Yechen was dumbfounded. This old man was too greedy. The biggest jar could hold at least 100 bottles of wine. He just made a wrong step, and the conditions of this task actually increased by more than 100 times, I am convinced. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 23. Even though he was so depressed that he vomited blood, Yechen could only go to the wine shop and help the old man buy a large jar of daughter's red. A total of 100,000 copper coins cost more than half of his savings. The old man smiled from ear to ear and asked two strong men to carry the big wine jar into his house. Then he said to Yechen, "Okay, boy, seeing as you are so sincere, I don't blame the old man. You damaged the wooden bridge, let's go and repair the hole." Yechen gritted his teeth and led the way with his head down, walking through various leveling locations, attracting crazy onlookers from many players. "Hey, isn't that old man an NPC in our village? Why is he following that player? Great God, you can actually ask NPC for help. Shit, I think it's probably a hidden mission. Let's follow and take a look." "Okay, let's go." For a time, more and more players gathered together, curiously asking Yechen. Yechen rolled his eyes and said loudly, "Yes. This is a hidden mission. Come on, let's sell the hidden mission guide process for 1,000 copper coins. Be quick, only sell it to 100 people. Wow, I buy it, I buy it. Silly X, the hidden mission can only be completed once. If he completes it, it will be useless even if you know the strategy." Most of the players were clamoring to buy it, but there were also some people who understood and figured out Yechen's conspiracy at once. This was a big deal, and everyone angrily accused Yechen of being a liar. Yechen shrugged his shoulders, looking like a dead pig who was not afraid of boiling water. This look annoyed everyone even more, but he became more interested in the hidden mission and refused to leave. This was an advantage for Ye Chen, because with so many people helping him clear the way, he no longer had to deliberately protect the old man. You must know that although this old man is a very good carpenter, he does not have much fighting power. One of the processes of this hidden mission is to protect the old man to the wooden bridge. So, a large group of people set out on the road in a mighty manner, and the number of people was getting larger and larger. All the monsters they met on the way died tragically, and they could not threaten the old carpenter at all. However, after arriving in the dense jungle, the number of the large army suddenly dropped sharply, because their level could not keep up. If they were touched by the giant lizard, they would probably be killed instantly. Although watching the hidden missions is exciting, your level is still more important. In the end, only about 10 players remained, and they were all level 5 or 6 masters. At this moment, they tried their best to protect the safety of the old man. Chao Yuchen said with a flattering smile, "Brother, we have also seen that you need to protect the safety of the old man. Leave this matter to us. But after you complete the task, can you divide it up? The benefits are for us. You must know that the hidden tasks in Dream World are unique, which means that after completing them once, they will not appear again in the future. Because of this, the rewards for hidden tasks are often very generous." Obviously, these people saw this clearly and tried their best to help Ye Chen. Okay, Ye Chen agreed. Although he himself has the ability to protect the old man, he can't live up to others' good intentions. More importantly, he was afraid that these people would jump over the wall. If he rejected these people, they would be so angry that they killed the old man, which would not be good. Not long after, Ye Chen and the carpenter, escorted by everyone, arrived at the wooden bridge safely. The old man was quite agile. He tricked Ye Chen into having a drink. He worked very hard. In less than half an hour, he repaired the holes in the wooden bridge. At this time, a system prompt rang in Ye Chen's ears. "System, congratulations on completing the hidden task repairing the wooden bridge, helping people gain convenience, gaining 200,000 experience points, copper coins, and the title Great Good Person. System, since you have completed the unique hidden task, the system will broadcast below to promote your glorious deeds. Do you want to hide your ID?" Keeping a low profile, Ye Chen chose to hide. "Human Race Novice Village, Tata Village broadcast, congratulations to the anonymous player for completing the hidden task repairing the wooden bridge, receiving an experience reward of 200,000 points, copper coins, and the title of Great Good Man. Human Race Novice Village, Tata Village broadcast, congratulations to the anonymous player for completing the hidden task repairing the wooden bridge, receiving an experience reward of 200,000 points, copper coins, and the title of Great Good Person. Human Race Novice Village, Tata Village broadcast, congratulations to the anonymous player for completing the hidden task repairing the wooden bridge, receiving an experience reward of 200,000 points, copper coins, and the title of Great Good Person." The system broadcast blasted 3 times in Novice Village, causing an uproar. "Damn it, what great person is on the radio again, and he's anonymous? He doesn't take advantage of such a good opportunity to become famous. I know this great god. We had a lot of people escorting him to complete his mission just now. It was so exciting. Such a mouthful. Hey, it seems I missed a good show." On the other side, after repairing the wooden bridge, the old man said goodbye to Ye Chen and others, and then used the city return scroll to return to the village. This kind of town return scroll is sold in the Novice Village shop for 100 copper coins each. Ye Chen also bought a lot of it, but he can't use it yet because it can only be used at level 5. "Congratulations, brother, you have completed the hidden mission." Everyone congratulated one after another, and then said with a shy face, "As for the reward you just promised us, is it?" "Well, there are rewards in the jungle on the other side of the bridge. Ye Chen pointed to the opposite side. Everyone's expressions darkened. Boy, are you kidding us? You just got so many rewards and the only title. We have helped you at least, now you can give us some bones. I told you that the other side has the benefits you want, you scold me now, but you will kneel on the ground and cry and thank me when you get there. Ye Chen said with a playful smile. Humph, it's better to be like this, otherwise you will lose a level tonight. Everyone snorted coldly, crossed the bridge doubtfully, and entered the jungle on the opposite side. There was a faint roar. Everyone was startled and looked in the direction of the sound, but saw a huge purple-skinned lizard. Their name is, Poisonous Lizard. This is not the point is that they are all elite monsters. Plop. Everyone knelt directly. Damn, there are all elite monsters here, I don't know how many green equipment can be exploded after killing them. Green equipment of level 5-6. At least 5,000 copper coins for one piece, and tens of thousands for the better ones. If they work hard tonight, they can make a lot of money. Ye Chen walked slowly and said with a smile, how about it, I didn't lie to you. Brother, you are too honest. Brothers, we can't let this brother suffer. Give him 10,000 copper coins each, which is considered as a reward. Someone immediately started to make a noise, and everyone agreed. They all traded Ye Chen. Soon, Ye Chen earned another 100,000 copper coins. Brother, you are low level, I guess you can't kill these elites, team up with us, randomly assigned, everyone said enthusiastically. No, I have something to do when I go back. Ye Chen waved his hand, turned around and left, sneaking in a corner that no one could see, and touched back. Going around everyone and going deeper. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 24. There are hundreds of poisonous lizards in this jungle, and all of them are unique monsters. That is to say, these poisonous lizards will not refresh again after death, but only the same number of giant lizards will refresh. After completing the repairing the wooden bridge, you can kill these poisonous lizards as soon as possible and get a lot of green equipment. This is also a hidden reward for the hidden task. But Ye Chen gave this huge reward to others, because the value of what he really wanted was far greater than these poisonous lizards. The sound of fighting became farther and farther away until it disappeared. Ye Chen walked deeper into the jungle and came to a dead end. This seems to be the end of the jungle. No one would have thought that. Ye Chen pushed aside the grass, and suddenly, a strong suction came and swallowed him. System, you found a dense forest, recognition add 10. System, congratulations, your recognition has reached 10 points, you will be able to view the attributes of the target. The higher the recognition, the more complete the attribute information obtained will be. As the system prompt sounded in his ears, Ye Chen came to another jungle. The environment here was similar to the dense jungle, but the space was much smaller. On the empty grassland in front, there was something similar to an altar, and its shape was like a square ancient well. From time to time, circles of purple poisonous gas were ejected from the wellhead and spread around. The grass around it had been dyed into a strange purple. Above the wellhead, a purple bracelet was suspended, emitting a strange light. Around the altar, there were many poisonous lizards lying. They were even bigger than the poisonous lizards outside. They were level 8 elite monsters. In addition, there was an extremely huge and darker poisonous lizard, which was faintly shining with a layer of golden halo all over its body. Poisonous Lizard King, Lord. Level 10. HP, / Skills. Poison Resistance, 100. Remarks, the majestic and ferocious Poisonous Lizard King is almost immune to toxins and can command poisonous lizards within a certain range to attack. There is no doubt that Ye Chen's target this time is the bracelet. Looking at its texture and the halo on the surface, it is not difficult to see that it is a purple equipment. Lord level monsters have a certain chance to explode purple equipment, but that is just a chance. Now the purple equipment is placed there, just take it. Legend has it that there are always monsters guarding around treasures. At this moment, next to the bracelet, there are these strong poisonous lizards, and there is also a lord level monster. If it were an ordinary profession, he could only sigh in despair, but Yechen happened to be a thief, and a thief who could sneak. Stealth. Yechen directly became invisible and walked slowly towards the altar. He was very light, for fear of attracting the attention of the poisonous lizards. You know, once the stealth state is attacked, the invisibility will be broken. At that time, he will not only fail to get the bracelet, but also die under the siege of the poisonous lizards. Finally, he came to the side of the altar. At this time, the poisonous lizard king snorted, and he was so scared that his hair stood up like a frightened bird, and he took the bracelet away tremblingly. He breathed a sigh of relief when he received the prompt. Next, he ran away, but the poisonous lizards found that the bracelet was gone in a blink of an eye, and their angry roars resounded through the world. The poisonous lizard king raised his head and sprayed a circle of poison gas, which quickly covered a 5-yard radius. -50. System, you are hit by the poisonous gas of the poisonous lizard king and fall into a poison state. Your HP will be reduced by 20 points per second for 5 seconds. At the same time, Yechen was attacked and revealed his figure, and a sick and venomous color appeared all over his body. Then, a -20 poisonous damage emerged from his head. HP instantly turned red. Yechen was startled, and hurriedly swallowed a bottle of instant recovery potion to replenish HP, and then ran away desperately. Behind him, the poisonous lizards chased him frantically, spraying venom and attacking Yechen from behind. Run! Yechen rushed several yards like lightning, leaving an illusory afterimage, avoiding the venom. The poisonous lizards chased after him relentlessly, because they were faster than Yechen. After a few seconds, they approached Yechen and were about to attack, but suddenly, Yechen magically disappeared. After 5 seconds, Yechen was not attacked again, and the combat state was cancelled, and he became invisible again. The poisonous lizards were stunned and stood there. Yechen ran a distance again, and only breathed a sigh of relief after confirming that he was safe. Unconsciously, his back was soaked with cold sweat. He looked at his HP again, and because of the poisoning, there were only the last 10 points left. Wow, my life is hanging by a thread. Yechen patted his chest, gradually calmed down, and hurriedly took out the bracelet to look at it. Venomous bracelet, purple quality. Level 5. Magic defense add 21. Strength add 10. Intelligence add 10. Poison resistance add 30. Additional skills, poison mist, instant, release a poisonous mist covering a 5-yard range, causing 50 damage to all targets, and there is a high probability of poisoning all targets. Cooling time, 60 seconds. Special effect, when attacking an enemy in the poison state, add 10% damage. This poison bracelet is purple equipment, which is only one level higher than the blue equipment, but the properties are very different. If this equipment is put on the market, even if it is sold for 1,000 yuan, I am afraid that some rich people will buy it in seconds. But why would Yechen sell it? Only with more powerful properties and equipment can we create greater value. This is more applicable to the early stage of the game. Because this bracelet needs to be level 5 to wear, Yechen carefully put it away. He currently only has 76% of the experience of level 4. This is thanks to the hidden task, which provides 200,000 experience points at once. Speaking of hidden tasks, Yechen remembered that the task also rewards a title, so he took it out. Title Great Kind Man, purple quality. Level 1. Strength add 10. Physical strength add 10. Intelligence add 10. Spirit add 10. Agility add 10. Additional skills: Kindness Aura, instant, make monsters within a 5-yard range lose hatred for 2 seconds. Cooldown time, 600 seconds. Note, this item cannot be traded. Oh my god, it really deserves to be the only title. It's purple quality, and it has additional skills. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have to flee desperately just now, wouldn't I have just used the Kindness Aura. Looking at the attributes of this title, Yechen couldn't help but sigh. In Dream World, every player comes with a title book, and the title book has only one grid by default. Of course, by completing a series of special tasks, the number of such grids can be increased. In the previous life, I heard that a god-level player increased the grids of the title book to 10. And putting the title into the grid will take effect directly, so in this game, collecting various powerful titles will have a great advantage in improving attributes. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 25. Yechen equipped the Great Good Man in the title book, and his attributes immediately increased a lot, which was worth 2 or 3 levels. Of course, the attributes improved by upgrading Dream World are not large. Equipment, skills, skill levels, puzzles, and titles are the main factors that make a character powerful. However, when talking about titles, Yechen remembered that there was a title in the human race novice village, Butcher. The attributes of this title are pretty good, adding 15 points of strength. Searched can on Google. Accept a cycle mission in Novice Village. You can get it by killing hundreds of chickens, ducks, cattle, and sheep, and hundreds of wild wolves. Yechen wants to make it. Although this title is not as good as the Great Good Man, Yechen's title book only has one slot, and there is no way to upgrade it for the time being, but he can also make the title first, and then open a new slot. Equip directly. This title was something he had to do anyway. He was no longer a novice, so he couldn't just let go of these 15 points of strength. Because he was only at level 4, Yechen couldn't use the city return scroll, so he could only walk back to the city. After finding the NPC to accept the task, he entered the green grassland. Yechen slashed one knife at a time, slaughtering animals like melons and vegetables, attracting the attention and admiration of many novice players. Master, you are so awesome, please guide me. Haha, do you think great gods are free? How can you bring people for free? Brother, I have 3 copper coins that I just broke out here. I will give them all to you. Take me. I also have 3 copper coins. I only have 2, please bring me along. These were obviously newbies who had just entered the game. Seeing how pitiful they were, Yechen established a team of 30 people and took care of the newcomers while completing tasks. But he was doing it very quickly, and in a short time he was completely filled with one kind of livestock, and he ran back to the village to change to another task. In less than half an hour, he left the group, said goodbye to everyone, and came to the wilderness to kill wild wolves. Now he no longer has to run back and forth. According to the mission prompts, as long as he collects 500 wild wolves, he can get the title of Butcher. Because the recognition level has reached 15 points, he can now clearly see the attributes of the wild wolf. Wild wolf, common monster. Level 3. HP, 110/110. Skills, collision, bite. The wild wolves in the deserted valley range from level 2 to level 4. Even the level 4 wild wolves only have 130 HP points and Yechen can still easily kill them instantly. I saw him crushing all the way and completing the task in less than half an hour. After handing in the mission and getting the title of Butcher, he suddenly had free time. He wanted to go to the dense jungle and farm some monster lizards for fun. On the way, he met a man with a red whirlwind on a narrow road. The red hair was very conspicuous. Yakama. Brothers, copy this guy, give him a second. The leader of the red whirlwind was a man with a brilliant life. He remembered very clearly that Ye Chen used tricks to deceive the NPC and deceive him into confinement for a full 6 hours at a time. He had always wanted to take revenge for this, but now that good luck had hit Ye Chen, how could he let it go? After Bright Life gave an order, a group of red-haired people rushed over like crazy, numbering about 30 people. Ye Chen was shocked. Although he was very confident, he didn't think he could kill 30 people. If he was upgraded to level 5 and equipped with a poisonous bracelet, he might be able to do it, but it's not possible now. What if he died? The result is a heavy loss of 1 level, and even all the equipment on the body will be exploded because of the red name. He didn't dare to be rash, and this place happened to be a dense jungle, so he wanted to lure the red tornado people to the Gila monster. There were 10 people there who had some friendship with him and might be willing to help. So, Ye Chen decisively turned around and ran towards the Gila monster. After passing the wooden bridge, Bright Life hesitated. To be honest, he really didn't know there was a river or a wooden bridge here, and he had never been to the jungle on the opposite side. Be cautious. He didn't want to take risks, but he wasn't willing to let Ye Chen go. At this moment, he was caught in a war between heaven and man. Brother, why did you stop? That kid has already run away, suddenly a red-haired man said anxiously. Chase. Bright Life's face hardened, he roared, and chased after him with his brothers. Let's talk about Ye Chen. After he entered the jungle on the other side, he looked everywhere for those 10 people, but he didn't find them. Unfortunately, he ran into Deng Liang and others. Moreover, Deng Liang and his younger brothers are still famous. Obviously, it was Deng Liang who killed those 10 people and prepared to monopolize the Gila monster here. Brother Liang, it's Ye Chen. Cai Dao was the first to spot Ye Chen and shouted loudly. Hearing this, Deng Liang was shocked. He turned his head and stared at Ye Chen with red eyes. The veins on his face were curled up. What happened in the past 2 days was still vivid in his mind. Ye Chen actually slapped him in front of all his subordinates. He knelt down. He absolutely couldn't bear this tone. Now that he met him, he would just kill him once. Ye Chen, I've been looking for you everywhere, but I didn't expect you to come to my door yourself. Deng Liang couldn't help laughing wildly. Being attacked from both sides, Ye Chen felt cold sweat dripping from his forehead due to his nervousness. In a hurry, his eyes suddenly lit up and he shouted to Deng Liang, I heard that this jungle is full of elite monsters. I am taking my brothers with me, you dare to touch me? As if to cooperate with Ye Chen, the red whirlwind behind him happened to burst out with a powerful roar. Bullshit, I'm afraid of you. Guys, come on, kill them each and you'll get 1000 yuan. Deng Liang couldn't stand the provocation, and he roared, leading his team to kill Ye Chen. Ye Chen hurriedly ran back, and soon met the red whirlwind. At the critical moment, he disappeared. Brothers, kill. Deng Liang and others didn't notice, and they swarmed towards the red whirlwind. The people of the red whirlwind were a little confused when they were hacked and killed for no reason, but they were not afraid of anything, impulsive and irritable, and they fought with Deng Liang and others without thinking. For a while, the two sides fought fiercely. Ye Chen hid aside and watched this gorgeous dog-eat-dog fight with a smile. The battle came quickly and ended quickly. In less than 10 minutes, the field was full of corpses, and only less than 4 people survived. After all, Deng Liang is more skilled. He is a second-generation rich man. He usually plays with women or plays games. His game skills are good, comparable to those of ordinary professional players. Moreover, he is rich and well equipped. Almost all of his equipment is green. His weapon is flashing blue light, which is blue equipment. The other 3, including Kaideo, are also his subordinates. These people are also well equipped. They should be the ones that Deng Liang focuses on training. Brother Liang, Ye Chen is not dead. After fighting for so long, I didn't hear any prompts about him being killed. Kaideo took a breath and said loudly. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 26. Damn it, find him for me, Deng Liang was furious. His original purpose was to kill Ye Chen. Now he had lost so many soldiers and killed so many people, but Ye Chen escaped. How could this be? No need to look for him, I'm here. Suddenly, a light laugh came, and Ye Chen also appeared. In fact, he was not far away from them, and the two sides were no more than 10 yards apart. Laugh. Haha, your brothers have all been killed by us, and you can still laugh, Cai sneered, and the two people behind him also laughed. Only Deng Liang's eyes condensed, vaguely feeling that something was wrong. Brother? Sorry, those people are my enemies. If it weren't for your kindness to help, I would have died now, Ye Chen said with a faint smile. After hearing this, Deng Liang and others looked as if they had swallowed a fly. Their faces were extremely ugly. Even if they were stupid, they knew that they were being used. You kid used us, Cai Deo and the other three were the first to hold back. They roared and rushed towards Ye Chen frantically. The three of them had some tricks and surrounded Ye Chen from 3 directions, but this was exactly what Ye Chen wanted. He quickly approached a mage and stabbed the latter's heart accurately with the ice dagger, -152, instant kill. At this time, the kitchen knife had already slashed with a sword, and Ye Chen easily dodged it and stabbed it with his backhand, and it was another instant kill. The last one was a shield warrior. When he saw Ye Chen easily kill 2 people, he panicked and actually ran back. Run. Ye Chen caught up like lightning, slashed 2 knives, and it was another instant kill. Such a terrifying and decisive method surprised Deng Liang. Deng Liang, you not only saved my life, but also harmed yourself and the team. You are so stupid. Ye Chen approached Deng Liang and attacked his psychological defense line with words, haha, you are ugly and stupid, no wonder senior sister Xiaoro doesn't like you. Shut up, Deng Liang's face flushed with anger, roared, and drew his sword to rush towards Ye Chen. Flame slash. Deng Liang struck out a wave of fire with his sword, rushing towards him violently, but Ye Chen was prepared and easily avoided it by stepping aside. Smack. -189. Ye Chen stepped forward quickly, dealing damage and stunning him at the same time. Ye Chen smacked his tongue. Deng Liang's equipment was obviously very good, with high defense and high blood, but he didn't die directly. Of course, Ye Chen then made up another knife and killed him easily. With a whoosh, a burst of golden light suddenly flashed, and Deng Liang died, and all his equipment exploded. I almost forgot, there is a certain chance that a red name will explode when it is killed. Looking at the equipment on the ground, Ye Chen couldn't help but be a little surprised, and then he was ecstatic. Deng Liang's equipment is very good, basically all green equipment, and his weapon is a blue equipment. Fine iron sword, blue quality. Level, 5. Attack power, 5577. Strength add 12. Special effect, strength add 9. Tisk tisk, it's a long sword with dual strength attributes, at least 50,000 copper coins. Ye Chen was overjoyed and hurriedly picked up all the equipment that Deng Liang had exploded. Then he glanced at the battlefield. A big battle had just broken out here, and more than 50 people died. Now the bodies have been refreshed, but a lot of equipment has been left. Of course, all of this is cheap for Ye Chen. Decisively turned on automatic pickup and cleaned up the battlefield in an instant, leaving only the last few pieces of equipment. That was because he was full of weight and couldn't pick it up. Walked over to check one by one, seeing that they were all garbage white equipment, Ye Chen gave up directly. It is worth mentioning that Deng Liang and his 4 people were all red names after the battle. Ye Chen killed them and did not receive the red name punishment. So, he decisively returned to the village and set up a stall to sell equipment on the spot. Although it is early morning, the game is so popular that the novice village is still crowded. Ye Chen put out more than 30 pieces of equipment at once, including green and blue equipment, attracting a large number of players to watch. Among them, there are also people from Red Tornado and Deng Liang, but there are no Brilliant Life, Deng Liang, Cai Deo, and others. Because they are all red names, they have to go to the small black room for confinement after death. Ye Chen, you actually use our equipment to sell for money. Both sides were so angry that their eyes turned red. What do you mean your equipment? I don't know you, get out of here quickly, don't interfere with my business, Ye Chen said in a muffled voice, which only made the other party furious. Good job, you have completely offended us now. We will fight to the death in the future. A funny thing happened. They scolded Ye Chen while buying equipment, there was no way, they had to fill the missing equipment, and Ye Chen sold it at a relatively low price, so they had to swallow it. Soon, except for Deng Liang's fine iron sword and Ye Chen's own flame sword, all the equipment on the stall was consumed. As for these 2 pieces of equipment, Ye Chen did not set the price. The buyer needs to enter the price himself. The stall owner will complete the transaction only when he is satisfied. At this time, the people of Red Whirlwind bought the equipment, cursed for a while, and left. As for Deng Liang's people, they still refused to leave. Ye Chen, this fine iron sword originally belonged to our brother Liang. He spent 50,000 copper coins to buy it. Now I also enter 50,000 copper coins. Why don't you agree? A younger brother was ordered by Deng Liang to buy back the fine iron sword. 50,000 copper coins, take the flame sword next to it. As for the fine iron sword, sorry, I sell it for 100,000, Ye Chen said with a smile. You're blackmailing me, the younger brother was directly angry. It was already very unpleasant to spend money to buy equipment that originally belonged to him. Now Ye Chen took the opportunity to raise the price, which really annoyed them. Don't yell at me here. If you have money, buy it. If you don't have money, get out. I won't serve you. You. The younger brother was furious. He discussed with several people around him. In the end, he had no choice but to spend 100,000 to buy the fine iron sword. Ye Chen, you wait for me, brother Liang will definitely take revenge. Several people threatened for a while and left one after another. When they walked away, a man and a woman approached. The man was tall and mighty, with an ID of unmovable as a mountain. He was actually a level 6 human shield warrior. The woman had delicate features and a tall and straight figure. She was a rare beauty. Her name was Lan Tong, also level 6, but a magic swordsman. At this moment, she was holding a level 5 green longsword in her hand. At this moment, she came over, most likely wanting to buy the flame longsword. As expected by Ye Chen, Budong Rushan quickly said, "Brother, your flaming sword is too expensive at 50,000 copper coins. Let's make friends and sell it to us at a lower price." "Okay, then let's make friends, 20,000, Ye Chen said with a smile, so straightforward that the two were stunned. Budong Rushan laughed, "Brother, you are really interesting. You are not taking advantage of my sister because she is beautiful." Lan Tong snorted when she heard this. She had seen this before and said directly, "You don't have to do this. The market price of this sword is 30,000, and we will sell it for 35,000. It's not taking advantage of you." The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 27. "Okay, then 35,000, Ye Chen responded with a smile. There is no reason for him to refuse when others offer him more money. Soon, Lantong completed the deal with him. Feudorushan smiled and said, "Brother, you are such a cheerful person. In the future, if you have other blue equipment, as long as the price is not too outrageous, you can come to me." This person is very shrewd. He saw clearly that the two forces Red Tornado and Deng Liang threatened Ye Chen just now. But Ye Chen was not moved at all, and did not even take the other party seriously. Moreover, the equipment sold at the stall were basically green equipment, and there were also two blue equipment. Based on these 2 points alone, he believed that Ye Chen was a talented person and there was no harm in getting to know him now. It would be great if Ye Chen could provide him with equipment in the future. Taiwan Novel Network Rightward Arrow. Blue equipment is nothing. I wonder if you are interested in purple equipment, Ye Chen said playfully to Fu Fuxian. Purple equipment. Feudorushan was startled, and when he looked at his sister, he could see the shock in the other's eyes. Blue equipment is nothing? Indeed, compared to purple equipment, blue equipment is really nothing. You know, purple equipment is extremely rare, and only bosses above the Lord level will have a certain chance of breaking out. Now in the entire novice village, the number of purple equipment definitely does not exceed 5 fingers. Because of this, they felt that Ye Chen was talking too much. If they hadn't seen that Ye Chen had some strength, they would have just regarded it as a joke, but even so, they still remain suspicious. You mean, you have a way to get purple equipment? Yes, as long as a priest cooperates, I can easily pass the difficulty level of Swamp of Fire. If I add a good shield warrior, I am confident that I can pass the expert level. When the two heard this, their pupils shrank. If it is an expert level copy, then the last boss is the Lord, and there will be a certain chance of purple equipment being revealed. Although the probability is not high, it can indeed explode. However, the words "I am confident that I can pass the expert level" come from a level 4 thief, and the credibility is really not high. TCH, it's just you? You're only level 4. I want to know how you brought an expert copy, Lantong said with a sneer. As a level 6 magic swordsman, she has good equipment and skills, but she doesn't even have the courage to challenge the expert level. Ye Chen, a level 4 thief, actually swears so much, which really makes her angry and even more unbelievable. Although Flame Swamp is only a level 2 dungeon, which means that players above level 2 can challenge it. This is a condition for entering the dungeon. However, depending on the difficulty of the dungeon, the level, attributes, and number of monsters inside will increase. For example, in the difficult level, the boss Rock Giant is the leader of level 4. As for the expert level, the boss Rock Giant will become a level 6 lord. Faced with such an explicit question, Ye Chen said nothing and just took out the ice dagger for the two of them to see. Feudorushan's mouth twitched. Ice attribute weapon. Lantong's beautiful eyes flickered, but she was still unconvinced. Even so, I don't believe you can clear the expert level copy. If you don't believe me, we can give it a try. If you don't believe it, come with me and bring a priest. The three of us will download the expert dungeon and the items will be randomly distributed, Ye Chen said to Feudorushan. You. Lantong trembled with anger. Ye Chen said this, which was like leaving her here. Sometimes a woman's mentality is very strange. If you pester her, she will think you are cheap. If you don't dump her, hey, she will get angry with you in turn. Of course, Ye Chen did not pester Lantong. From the beginning to the end, the only person he wanted to cooperate with was the shield warrior, immovable as a mountain. In the game, shield warriors are rarer than national treasures, and those with good equipment and skills are even rarer. Now that Ye Chen finally met one, how could he miss the opportunity to cooperate? As for Lantong, she is indeed a beautiful woman. She may have been harassed too much. At this moment, she preconceptionally thought that Ye Chen was also coveting her beauty, but this time, she was really wrong. Looking at Lantong's angry look, Fu Rushan curved the corner of his mouth and revealed a faint smile. He knew that his sister had a cold face towards any man except his brother. Now that she was so angry with a man, it was quite novel. At the same time, she found Ye Chen more and more interesting. Regardless of these things, he looked embarrassed at this moment. "Thank you, little brother, for looking up to me, but I have a team, and I am also the leader, so it is impossible to download a dungeon with you. In this way, little brother, if you don't dislike it, you can temporarily join our team and let's fight together." Lan Tong angrily added, "I don't know if you are really capable. If the challenge fails, our entire team will have to accompany you to suffer the punishment. To be on the safe side, we will go through the difficulties first to test your strength." Ye Chen ignored Lan Tong, frowned and said to Fu Rushan, "Are you a member of your group? How will you distribute the equipment if it comes out? Randomness is impossible. I can't beat your group by myself." When Lan Tong saw that Ye Chen was ignoring her again, she stamped her feet angrily. But Fu Fuxian said, "This is easy to handle. If any purple equipment comes out, you have priority. If you don't want it, sell it to us. Can you pay in cash? Purple weapons, 500 yuan. Equipment or jewelry, 200 yuan. Brother, are you crazy? Even if he is really capable, a thief can't pass the level. We provide him with priests and shield warriors, and you still offer him such generous conditions," Lan Tong said anxiously. Unmoved as a mountain patted her shoulder and smiled, "It's okay, as long as he is really capable, this condition is not excessive. After all, he is the main force, and we are just auxiliary." Hearing this, Lan Tong glared at Ye Chen unconvinced. Ye Chen pretended not to see it and smiled, "Okay, if there is nothing else, we can set off now." Obviously, he was very satisfied with the conditions offered by Unmoved as a Mountain. Soon, Ye Chen, Unmoved as a Mountain, and Lan Tong arrived at the entrance of the Flame Swamp. About 10 minutes later, the rest of the team came one after another. One of the short thieves shouted dissatisfiedly, "Boss, why are you calling us here so urgently? Are you going to brush the Flame Swamp dungeon? I have vomited this dungeon and have no experience." The thief's ID is Xiao Qi, also level 6, and has a lot of prestige in the team. It just so happened that he was just leading his brothers to kill poisonous lizards. Not only was he experienced, but he also got a lot of green equipment. He was very happy. Who knew that the leader told them to come over? Come over, it's nothing, but when he saw that the gathering place was the Flame Swamp, he was immediately entangled. The other members also looked bitter. They started to kill this dungeon from level 2, and now they are level 6. They are really sick of it. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 28. Let's try the expert level today. If we succeed, we will have enough experience and may even get purple equipment," said Budong Rushan with a smile. Everyone was startled, and then showed a complicated look. They had tried the expert level before, but it was too difficult and they were wiped out. Each person lost 20% of their experience, and they are still traumatized. "No way, boss, you are still here. It's hard to increase the experience in this game. Now we lose 20% of our experience and waste half a day," Xiao Qi said depressedly. In fact, it was him who was clamoring to brush the expert level at the beginning, and because of this, he was even more traumatized. At this time, Xiao Qi noticed the existence of Ye Chen. After the last disastrous defeat, I believe that Budong boss also experienced the difficulty of the expert dungeon. Without any support, he would not make such a wrong decision. Could it be that this kid is the so-called support? No, he is only level 4. Boss, who is this kid? You don't think a level 4 thief can help us pass the expert dungeon, right? Xiao Qi pointed at Ye Chen and said. He came here by himself, Lan Tong sneered. Hearing this, Xiao Qi's eyes condensed, and he started to run fast, leaving a trail of after images. In a flash, he was close to Ye Chen, with a sharp dagger against Ye Chen's neck, and said coldly, "Boy, I am not as good-tempered as the boss who doesn't move. If you dare to play tricks on us, I will immediately make you drop a level." As soon as he finished speaking, with a bang, he was hit on the back of the head for no reason. While the damage appeared on his head, he fell into a dizzy state. Of course, the human race's talent of firm will was activated, which made him sober up immediately. Xiao Qi was stunned and looked at Ye Chen with some horror. Then, Ye Chen's cold voice hit his heart like a heavy hammer. "Humph, have you ever thought that if I didn't play tricks on you, you might have offended a strong man who is 10 or 100 times stronger than you?" Hiss. Everyone quickly realized that if Ye Chen didn't play tricks on them, it meant that Ye Chen could pass the expert level dungeon. That kind of strength is really terrible. Xiao Qi's face turned pale and blue, and he kept silent. But Budong Rushan's eyes lit up. Even he couldn't understand Ye Chen's strange methods, but he also knew that some special skills in Dream World were indeed unpredictable. At this moment, he thought that Ye Chen had this special skill. This made him more optimistic about Ye Chen. So, he was busy smoothing things over and led the team into the dungeon, of course, the difficult level. After entering the dungeon, Ye Chen showed his power and killed all ordinary monsters in seconds. The terrifying attack power made everyone open their mouths and couldn't even say a word. Lan Tong and Xiao Qi's expressions were even more exciting, and their previous doubts about Ye Chen disappeared in an instant. Soon, Ye Chen crushed all the way and led the team to pass the difficult dungeon. "Good. Brother Ye Chen, you are really strong. Now I fully believe that you can lead us to pass the expert level dungeon." Budong Rushan smiled heartily, and the rest of the people also applauded. Ye Chen smiled faintly. He checked the equipment of Budong Rushan and others. Seeing that their fire resistance had reached more than 20 points, they had already met the requirements of the expert level dungeon, and knew that they had challenged it before. He did not say anything more at the moment, and decisively took out a few pieces of fire resistance puzzles and inlaid them with the equipment. Soon, the fire resistance reached 21 points. Budong Rushan had been observing him. After seeing him finish his work and confirming that his fire resistance had reached 20 points, he smiled with satisfaction and led the team into the expert level dungeon. As soon as they entered the dungeon, they were in a sea of fire, and the terrifying sea of fire climbed to their knees. Fortunately, everyone's fire resistance had reached the standard, and there was no danger of being burned by the flames at this moment. In the flames, there were many slimes, more than 20 in number. Among them, there were even 2 elite slimes that were even bigger. After all, it was an expert level dungeon, and the difficulty was much higher than the difficult level. Because of the tension, everyone breathed more quickly. Although they recognized Ye Chen's strength, the difficulty of the expert level dungeon was here, and it was impossible to ignore it easily. Still, the leader was more stable. He called another shield warrior in the team, Ironstone, and the 2 of them rushed forward with a roar and used their shields to knock away the monsters. Then they skillfully used taunts to pull the monsters, and each of them attracted half of the monsters' hatred. At this time, the slimes launched the first round of attacks on the 2. More than 10 fireballs hit the 2 giant shields respectively. With such a terrifying attack, the HP of the 2 was only reduced by 1 grid. You know, shield warriors are the most important position in the team. Any elite group should give priority to them. And the team of Immovable is obviously an elite group, and he and Stone's equipment is also the most luxurious in the team. Ye Chen glanced at their HP and found that Stone's HP was as high as 550 points. Immovable is even more terrifying, reaching 700 points. Blood cow. Such a discovery made Ye Chen feel as if he had taken a reassurance pill, and his heart was firmly in his stomach. With two powerful shield warriors in front to help him fight monsters, he is now almost 100% sure to pass the expert level copy. Run. Yechen rushed forward like lightning, locked onto a slime and attacked it. He could deal more than 100 damage with a random attack. Even though the monsters in the expert level dungeon had stronger attributes, he could still kill them with two strikes like a terrifying killing machine. Yechen's powerful attack power made the two shield warriors breathe a sigh of relief, because they didn't need to deliberately help Yechen to attract the monster's hatred, they just needed to hold off the monster in front of them, and the pressure was greatly reduced. In just over 10 seconds, half of the slimes died, and Lantong, Xiaoqi and others rushed up to help, and quickly harvested the remaining monsters. Easy. It was so damn easy. This expert level dungeon is not much different from the difficult level dungeon. This is what everyone feels at the moment. Of course, this refreshing feeling is brought to them by Yechen. If Yechen is replaced and another person is the main output, it will definitely not be able to kill the monsters quickly due to insufficient output, thus attracting the hatred of the monsters. At this time, in order to protect the main force, the shield warrior must distract himself and force the hatred of the monsters. This requires high-end operation and awareness. If there is a slight mistake, the rhythm will collapse, then it will be OT, monster hatred confusion, and the result is usually a team annihilation. Haha, brother Yechen, it's so cool to cooperate with you. Unlike Tong Tong and Xiaoqi, who always lead the rhythm astray, making me and Boss Budong busy for a while. The shield warrior Shitou patted Yechen on the shoulder and couldn't help but exclaimed. Shitou was about 20 years old, with regular features and a clean and refreshing flat head. Although his figure was not as sturdy as the leader, he was also tall and strong, full of masculinity. At this moment, his smile was like sunshine, which easily attracted others' favor. But what he said was not sunny. He took the opportunity to complain to Lantong and Xiaoqi. Lantong was fine, just frowned and didn't say anything, but the hot-tempered Xiaoqi's face turned up and he started to talk nonsense at that time. After the first room was cleared, everyone rested and replenished, and then continued to move forward. After the previous running in, Yechen cooperated more smoothly with the two shield warriors, crushing all the way. On the way, he easily killed a leader monster, but it was a pity that it didn't explode good things. Soon he came to the boss room, and Shitou became more powerful. As a level 6 lord, his various attributes were strengthened, and his HP reached. In addition, his body became much taller, 3 meters tall, becoming a real giant. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 29. As soon as everyone broke in, the rock giant roared, increasing the intensity of the flames on the surface, causing blue fire to appear faintly in the sea of fire. Unless the fire resistance reaches 30 points, you can be immune to this kind of fire damage. But at this stage, it is difficult for players to reach 30 fire resistance. The reason is very simple. Level 1 to 9 monsters can only explode LV1 puzzle pieces, and the player's equipment parts include head, tops, bottoms, belts, and shoes. Writing this, I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow. Including weapons, there are only 6 parts that can be inlaid with puzzle pieces. Even if all LV1 fire resistance puzzle pieces are embedded, the fire resistance is generally only about 20 points. On this basis, unless you wear a set of fire resistance equipment and complete all the fire resistance puzzles, it is possible to increase the fire resistance to a higher level, but the price/performance ratio is not high, unless you plan to challenge the hell difficulty of Swamp of Fire. Currently, no one in Yechen or the entire elite group has reached 30 points of fire resistance, and different points of damage are popping up above everyone's heads. Everyone reacted quickly and immediately took out the fire resistance potion and drank it to minimize this damage. Shield Bash. Unmoving like a mountain or a stone, he held the boss on the left and right at the same time. The tail mage and archer concentrated their fire power to deal a violent wave of damage, and forcibly cleared the mobs around the boss. Ye Chen smiled. After all, they were an elite group and their strength was pretty good. Now, they could concentrate on dealing with the boss, and soon, without moving like a mountain, the rock giant's hatred was locked down. But its damage is very high, far beyond the comparison of ordinary monsters. It can deal more than 100 points of damage with a single hit, and it can be 300 to 400 points with skills. The priests in the middle row were so panicked that they hurriedly treated the group leader. One of the priests stepped on the spot and treated the group leader just when the rock giant's hatred for the group leader was reduced. Roar. The rock giant roared, gave up and stood motionless, and rushed towards the priest with large strides. The priest's face turned pale with fright. At the critical moment, Shita taunted him and almost brought back the hatred. Feudo Rushan looked stern and shouted, "Don't panic, everyone, keep your hands steady, don't get OT. I'll still have rocks after I hang." After being shouted down by the group leader, everyone looked stern and gradually calmed down. Afterwards, Feudo Rushan and Shita began to set the pace, achieving the first and second hatred respectively, and the team's output became more and more stable. However, the damage of the rock giant was too high, and coupled with the continuous burning of the surface flames, the HP of the two shield warriors was clearly unable to bear it. The priest's treatment caught up with 1 or 2 waves, but in the end the cooldown time was not enough and he was unable to help. At this time, with the instant recovery potion and low-level bread, the two shield warriors could barely hold on for a few more seconds, but this was not the solution after all. At the critical moment, Ye Chen moved and rushed towards the rock giant like lightning. The super high damage instantly caused the boss's hatred of the two shield warriors to drop until it collapsed, and finally locked him firmly. Hiss! Everyone gasped. In their eyes, Ye Chen's behavior was no different from committing suicide. However, for Ye Chen, taking on the rock giant alone is not a big deal at all. The reason why he asked the shield warrior for help was not because of the boss, but because of the group of monsters piled up in the expert level copy. As for the boss rock giant, it is not a threat to him. So what if its attributes become stronger? The body is still stiff, and there is still a delay when turning around. So, what follows is Ye Chen's personal show, always able to attack the rock giant from behind and tease it to applause. Everyone was speechless. They didn't expect that this boss could be beaten like this. A few minutes later, with a boom, the rock giant fell to the ground and died, exploding equipment everywhere. The system prompt for clearing the dungeon came, and everyone was astonished, as if they were in a dream. I didn't expect that the expert level copy could be cleared so easily. When I saw that among the items dropped by the boss, one shone with a faint purple light, I was suddenly surprised and happy. It was a good start, and it actually exploded in the first place. Purple equipment. Ye Chen was closest to the equipment, and now he squatted down to pick it up. Ring of Burning Flame, purple quality. Level 5. Magic Defense add 18. Strength add 10. Intelligence add 10. Fire Resistance add 30. Fire Attribute Enhancement add 10. Hee, Captain Feudo, as agreed, I took this ring. Ye Chen smiled with satisfaction and shared the attributes of the burning ring in the team channel. Wow! Suddenly there was a burst of exclamation, and everyone looked at Ye Chen with envy and jealousy. Even Feudo Rushan looked envious, but he immediately restrained himself, patted Ye Chen on the shoulder and said with a smile, "Congratulations, brother Ye Chen." Then, he turned to everyone and said, "Brothers, I have promised that the purple equipment released in the dungeon will be chosen first by brother Ye Chen. Do you have any objections? Everyone shook their heads decisively, indicating that they had no objection. They were envious, but they knew that it was because of Yuchen's existence that they were able to clear the expert level dungeon. Yuchen gave priority, which was reasonable. Yuchen smiled, put away the ring, and played an expert level copy. He gained more than 4% experience. It is estimated that after playing about 6 more copies, he can reach level 5. When the time comes, you can equip the poison bracelet and the burning ring. Brother Yeshen, now that you have the burning ring, your fire resistance can easily reach 50. Have you ever thought about getting the first kill in the hell level dungeon? Chao Yechen, who was as still as a mountain and had bright eyes, said. Except for the novice dungeon like Chicken Farm, there are 2 kinds of first kills in general dungeons. One is the simple level and the other is the hell level. The first kill reward is very generous. In addition to being able to show your face on the broadcast, you will get a large amount of experience points, copper coins and other rewards. Especially for the first kill of the hell level dungeon, in addition to experience and copper coins, there will be additional skill points. The leader gets 2 points, and the other members get 1 point. The so-called skill points can directly improve the skill level. As we all know, skills can be upgraded by accumulating proficiency. The higher the level, the more difficult it is to upgrade. If you have skill points, you can upgrade directly. This is a very scary thing, an existence that countless strong people fight for. The simple level first kill of Flame Swamp has long been taken, now there will be many strong people and many elite groups coveting the hell level. However, the hell level dungeon is too difficult, and the monsters inside are mutated and strengthened. Even the final boss, the rock giant, has evolved into a flame giant. The flame giant is made of flames, and its body will no longer be stiff, and the defect of delayed turning will no longer exist. It even breaks through the limit of the Lord level and becomes a stronger Golden Lord. Killing the Golden Lord will have a certain chance of exploding golden equipment that is more powerful than purple equipment. And if it is the first kill, the possibility of exploding golden equipment is infinitely increased. Such a generous reward, Yechen is of course interested. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 30. If Brother Yeshen is interested, our team can fully cooperate with you. It's still the old rule, you have priority in the equipment that has been released, and sell to us the unused equipment at half price. I can even temporarily give up the position of team leader to you. We don't want anything, we just want that 1 skill point, Feudo Rushan said with bright eyes. Yechen was speechless. There was no doubt that the conditions offered by Feudo Rushan were very generous. But the hell level dungeon is very difficult. If you challenge it now, you will undoubtedly die. So he can only say, of course I am interested, but not now. Of course, I heard that the hell level dungeon requires 50 points of fire resistance, and the final boss can even increase the flame intensity to 100 points in a short period of time. When I think of this, it hurts to be motionless. Yechen nodded. As a reborn person, of course he also knew about this kind of thing. In addition, the monsters in the hell level Flaming Swamp are between level 8 and 10. With everyone's current levels and equipment, they can't defeat them even if their fire resistance reaches the standard. In short, everyone can now upgrade with peace of mind and improve the equipment and fire resistance by several levels. Yechen said, when everyone's average level reaches level 8 and the fire resistance exceeds 50 points, I will ask you to try to open up Wasteland. Everyone nodded when they heard this and suppressed this thought for the time being. Afterwards, Feudong Grushan drove again and cycled through the expert level copy. After finishing the 6th brush, Yechen's body flashed with a white light, and he finally reached level 5. Night God, ID. Race, Human. Occupation, Thief. Title, Great Good Man. Level, 5. HP 200/200. MP 180/180. Strength, 59. Stamina, 20. Spirit, 18. Intelligence, 38. Agility, 32. Physical attack, 88/100. Magic attack, 38/38. Physical defense, 23. Magic defense, 42. Fire resistance, 51. Poison resistance, 30. Recognition, 15. Skills, LV1 Sap, LV1 Stab, LV1 Thief, LV1 Lockpicking, LV1 Stealth, not upgradable, LV1 Sprint, not upgradable. Equipment additional skills, Goodwill Halo, Poisonous Mist. Special skills, low-level Life Potion. Talent, Firm Will, passive when the character falls into a negative state, he is immune to the state, CD, 30 minutes. After upgrading, he immediately put on the poison bracelet and the burning ring, then glanced at the attributes and smiled proudly. With this kind of attribute, he ranks second in the entire human race novice village, and no one dares to claim the first place. Counting the only person with the title of Great Mercy, he has a total of 3 purple outfits. Who else? Although the weapon is only a level 4 blue weapon, it has an additional ice attribute attack. Who else? Seeing Yuchen's upgrade, Feudo Rushan congratulated everyone together and then drove into the dungeon again. Now, if Yuchen had some divine help, his basic attack power increased by more than 20 points as he leveled up, coupled with the ice attribute attack, Xiao Hei's damage was doubled, and he dealt more than 200 points of damage with one strike. Again it's seconds, it's so heartless. Everyone's expressions were as if they had seen a ghost, and the corners of their mouths were twitching in shock. Not to mention, the poisonous mist skill of his poisonous bracelet was activated, and a purple poisonous gas suddenly poured out and enveloped a 5-yard radius. A fixed damage of -50 points suddenly appeared on the heads of all slimes, and they were poisoned at the same time, with -20 HP per second. In addition, the special effect of the poisonous bracelet was activated, and when attacking enemies in a poisoned state, an additional 10% damage was added. In an instant, Yechen came to his aid like a ghost or a god, and even an elite slime could be killed with just a few swords. The attack power is so high that it can hit the sky. Thump. Xiao Qi suddenly knelt on the ground, the expression on his face was uglier than crying. He was also a thief, and his level was 1 level higher than Yechen, but the damage output could not even touch Yechen's leg hair. What a joke. Egg. Sure enough, there is no harm without comparison. For a moment, he even thought of deleting his account. Xiaoqi, don't cry, stand up and masturbate. Shitu saw his gay friend was hit and quickly encouraged him. Yechen smiled when he saw this. The two guys were bickering all the way, but Shitou clearly had the upper hand. Shitou had a calm personality and could easily control the impulsive and irritable Xiaoqi, and make him go berserk with just a few words. Sister Lu and I can't do it anymore. Xiaoqi said dejectedly. Okay you two, I can't stand it anymore. Sister Lantong couldn't stand them, so she couldn't help but complain, which immediately made everyone laugh. Amidst the laughter, the copy continued. Yechen took a few more, leaving more opportunities for Xiaoqi and Lantong. They are the main output of the team, and their damage is not enough. They can be strengthened through equipment in the later stage, but their skills must be practiced hard. In fact, both of them have good talents and foundation. With a little guidance from Yechen, they have made great progress and learned how to defeat the boss without taking any damage, but the damage is still very low for the time being. The night passed quickly, and Yeche led a group to clear the expert level dungeon. In addition to the first one that revealed the Ring of Burning Flame, 2 other pieces of purple equipment were revealed. Flame Longbow, purple quality. Level 6. Attack power, 5573. Strength at 13. Fire resistance add 35. Fire attribute enhancement add 15. Special effect, fire attribute attack. Special effect, adds 30 points of explosion damage when attacking. Burning flame armor, purple quality. Level 5. Physical defense add 25. Strength add 10. Physical strength add 10. This chapter is not over yet, please click the next page to continue reading. Fire resistance add 30. Special effect, all enemies within a 5-yard range have minus 20 points of fire resistance. These two pieces of equipment are very good, but since Yechen couldn't use them, Budong Grushan happily accepted them and distributed them to his teammates, and at the same time deposited 800 yuan into Yechen's account. At 6:30 in the morning, Budong Grushan said hello to Yechen and took his friends offline. Watching everyone turn into white light and disperse, Yechen also logged off. Because he was determined to be a professional player, he would inevitably lie in the game cabin in the future. In order to avoid stiffness, he got up and went to a nearby park for morning exercises. After an hour and a half of sweating, he felt refreshed and bought 2 breakfasts outside to take home. When he came back, Yun Chiener woke up. Yechen took a shower and threw the stinky clothes into the washing machine, and sat down to have breakfast with the goddess. This warm feeling made him feel unreal, so damn happy. Yechen, will you go to school today? I won't go. Unless my dad doesn't force me to date Gao Ming, I will keep asking for leave. Yun Chiener took a spoon, sipped the porridge, and asked Yechen when she had time. Oh, I have decided to drop out of school. I will submit the application in the next few days. What? Drop out? Are you crazy? What are you going to do after dropping out? Yun Chiener's spoon fell on the table with a clang, and she angrily questioned Yechen. Yechen smiled and said with longing, I plan to be a professional player. Just play games. Don't you have a game cabinet? You can play games at night without delaying your rest. As for taking games as a profession, isn't that too superficial? You want to drop out of school. You really have no ambition and no progress. Yun Chiener stared at Yechen with contempt. Yechen touched his nose awkwardly and asked back, even if I study for another 4 years and get a diploma, I will still start as a clerk when I go out into society. What future do I have?